Yo, what is up, guys? Today we have a banger video. So pretty much what I'm going to be doing today is showcasing 5 of the most underrated arena drop spots. And I know Jarian recently posted a video like this. However, these spots are completely different. I think there's only one overlap. So yeah, pretty much this video is intended to help you guys ultimately reach Champions League and find a good drop spot that you guys are comfortable with. I'll be ranking each of the 5 spots off of 3 things. I'll be ranking them off of how much loot they have, how many people drop there, and what I call the X factor. This is things like floppers, helicopters, slurp barrels, and all of that good stuff. So yeah, let's get into it. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Please drop a like. It means so much to me. And if you watch to the end, that is even more helpful. So thank you so much and enjoy this video. The first location on this list is these couple islands in between Sweaty Sands and Pleasant Park. These islands are stacked with loot. They actually have 13 chests and up to 9 fishing spots. So that's right, a lot of times I'm walking out of here with blue, purple guns, 4 floppers, max shield, and all that good stuff. Personally, I like to land at this little green house near the back of the islands. This house, why I like it is because it has 30 guaranteed shield due to slurp barrels. And it also has one of those nom-nom containers that can drop like coconuts, bananas, all that good stuff. And it also has a cooler, which can drop fish. So after, looting up this little house, I like to go grab this other chest, which just spawns right outside of it. And by that time, I usually have full shield just due to the chest, cooler, and nom-noms. And I'm ready to take on the rest of the people who landed here. So speaking of people, this spot, I would say most of the time there's 1 or 2 people landing here. So you're never gonna have 4 or 5 people, and you're usually not gonna be completely uncontested. But overall, it's not very contested. Sometimes you can just loot up and leave without fighting. So, okay, this spot, you guys are gonna have to try it out for yourself. I would have to say for the amount of people, I would have to give it a 2 out of 5 because it's usually not very contested, but there's always gonna be people there. For loot, I would say this spot has to be a 4. The only reason why it's not a 5 is because it doesn't have 20 chests or something crazy, but as far as loot goes, 13 chests is not bad at all. And so I think it's got to be a really good looting spot. As far as the X factor, I would say this spot has to be at least a 4. Just due to the fact that it has slurp barrels, nom-noms, it has an upgrade machine, if you want to get some juicy loot, and all of the fishing spots. I think fish are a big part of competitive nowadays, and so this spot is going to guarantee you some really juicy loot, some fish, and yeah, it's just overall a really great spot. However, you will have to be careful. Sometimes, I land here, I think I'm uncontested, but since it's such a big area, people can land, far away from you and then just creep up on you. So I would say be careful. Additionally, it's in between Sweaty and Pleasant. So sometimes I like to rotate just down the middle, through all this water with a boat, get to zone. But it's, there's not too many places nearby. So yeah. I think this spot is really amazing. It's got all the necessary components that you need for a drop spot. And so yeah, you guys try this out for yourself. Let me know how this drop spot goes. Our next location is the Craggy Cliffs. I don't even know what to call it. I just call it the Craggy Cliffs house. It's located smack down in the center of the map. And it spawns 4 chests. Nothing crazy. However, one thing that I do love about this drop spot is the fact that it has slurp barrels. Currently, there's no exact number on the slurp barrels. I mean, I don't want to go through and count all of them. I'm sure there's around 15 or so, but there is a lot of slurp barrels here. All right, so you'll always be walking out of this location with full shield. But a negative of this spot is that it's smack down in the center of the map. It's in between Pleasant, Authority, Frenzy, Salty. There's just a lot of named locations by it. So chances are, after you loot this, you're probably going to get into some fights. As far as fights go, this place, it's usually contested similar to the Pleasant Park Islands. Usually, 1-2 people land here. Personally, I land at like the very top chest. I get like the slurp barrels that spawn up there, and usually I can take on the rest of the people just because, I have the knowledge about this spot and I can just kind of outplay them. For like how contested it is, I have to give it a 2 out of 5 because, it's similar to the Pleasant Park Islands. It's not usually going to be uncontested. However, you're not going to have 4 or 5 people landing here. So yeah. And then loot, as loot goes, 4 chests isn't anything crazy. There's plenty of ground loot spawns though. So I'm going to have to give it I would say a 2 out of 5 for loot. However, it may not have a lot of chests, but nearby there's areas like Risky Reels. There's like 2-3 chests over there. And there's this little shack in between it and Authority, which has another chest that you can get. So it may not have the best loot, but it has plenty of shield. And another thing that I love about this spot is oftentimes I rotate over towards Authority, where at Authority I can just like sit in a cone, and oftentimes I either like camp vault, waiting for someone to go for it, or I just get the leftover loot. There's always like P90s and all that good stuff at Authority and in the vault. So yeah, you can get some really nice loot after rotating from it. So yeah, this spot, it's really nice. It doesn't have, for X Factor, there's a couple fishing spots, but it's just got to be a 2 out of 5 for X Factor. Well, actually, I'm going to buff that to a 4, actually a 3. Sorry, I don't even know what these rankings are. Just because it has so many slurp barrels, it's got to be a 3 out of 5 for X Factor. But, this is a really good location. If you're, good at mid-game fighting, I think this is a perfect location for you. And you're always going to have a lot of shield and health walking out of here. So, yeah, try it out for yourself and let me know how it goes. Alrighty, guys. Our next location is, I don't even know what to call it. The weather station? Shoot, I don't really know. Located in between the yacht, Steamy Stacks, and the orchard. The weather station, it's a great spot. This was my go-to spot for arena in the first week of this season. However, people started figuring out about it, and now, I don't know, it's kind of washed. I don't really go there anymore, but it still can be a great spot. So the weather station, I think the main draw that people have towards it is that it has a helicopter. So it spawns 5 chests, nothing crazy, 5 chests is... It's chilling, but it does also have the helicopter, which, in this day and age of competitive, helicopters are so clutch. They give you free rotations, and even if you just want to be weird, you can just sit in a helicopter all game. Don't do that, by the way. I do not like people who do that. But, so yeah. Personally, I like to land at the top of the station, grab this chest, drop down, get the other 2 chests that spawn in the main building. Then I go outside and grab the 2 other chests that spawn outside. However, while this spot is great, I used to get it uncontested. It's now pretty contested, People want the helicopters because they love to just camp in helicopters all game. So people just land, grab the helicopter, and dip, which is very annoying. But, this place is very contested. I'm going to have to give it a 3 or 4 out of 5 for contestation. Shoot, is that even a word? I don't know. But it's going to be pretty contested most of the time. However, if you are good at early game fights, this is the spot for you. One thing, though, that I do like about this place is the loot that it has around it. So there is another chest that spawns at this little bus and another one at the lawnmower racetrack. Sometimes, if I get the helicopter, I'll just dip, grab these 2 chests, and then there's a slurp truck. And fun fact for those of you who don't know, if you have a helicopter, you can just fly it through the slurp truck, get your shield. And then there's a gas station that has 3 floor loot spawns and a cooler. So yeah, there's lots of good little loot spots around it. And if you can get this if you can kill everyone who lands there, you're pretty much set for the rest of the game. So for loot, I'm going to have to give it a 3 out of 5, just because of, 5 chests isn't crazy, but there's a lot of little looting spots around it. For X Factor, I'm going to have to give it a 4 out of 5, just because the helicopter and slurp truck that spawn nearby are really clutch. And then for people, I'm going to have to give it, like I said, a 3 or 4 out of 5. So, try this spot out for yourself. If you're good at early game fights, I would highly suggest this location. Our next location is honestly, I think, one of the most underrated spots for this season, and it's Craggy Cliffs. So most of Craggy Cliffs went under the water this season, as most of you guys know. However, it's still a very strong spot due to the fact that there is 7 slurp barrels that still are here. So personally, I like to land at the main building, grab this chest, loot up a little bit, and then get the 7 slurp barrels that spawn here. So most of the times, I'm walking out of here with full shield, just due to the fact that there's guaranteed 70 shield. So from there, I go over to, there's this house on the hill that spawns 1 chest, this other house that spawns 2, 3, 4, there's plenty of chests. And, each one of these buildings gives you some floor loot, some ammo boxes, a chest. And, this spot really isn't contested. So I think this is going to be a great spot for solo FNCS and, high-level arena due to the fact that, there's shield. I would say it's a 1 for contention. A lot of times I get this spot uncontested. And then there's also 2 fishing spots, which can provide, floppers, all the stuff that you need to be successful in arena. So yeah, don't sleep on Craggy Cliffs. It has, I think, 7 chests, I believe, and there's lots of little looting spots around. You can get some tags on Deadpool's yacht, and you can even rotate over to where the helicopter spawns up at Weather Station. So yeah, don't sleep on Craggy Cliffs. It's still a great drop spot for a solo player. And so yeah. Our next and final drop spot is the tents. So the tents is located right above Caddy Corner and right next to the Weather Station. This isn't one of those spots that, a lot of people talk about going to Weather Station and then dropping down to Caddy. This spot is not made for, pushing Caddy. I think this is actually a great spot for high-level arena and solo FNCS, similar to Craggy Cliffs. So this spot, the tents themselves only spawn you 3 chests, couple ammo boxes, couple floor spawns, not too great, but once you go down to there's this little log cabin that spawns under it. I go there, pick up 3 more chests, and so 6 chests isn't anything crazy. However, there's lots of metal, wood, and brick readily available at this spot. And so yeah, I'm gonna walk you through my loot path after going here. So I drop down to the little wooden house, and then oftentimes I'll go down to this little shack that spawns just down by the water, where I pick up another chest, making our chest count 7. And then I go back to where the whirlpool is and grab another chest, making our chest count 8. So now from here, I take the whirlpool, and so if zone pool's more north, I take the whirlpool and start going north. There's this little house that can spawn 1 chest, couple floor loot spawns. However, sometimes most of the time, someone lands there, and I go here. I loot up this spot, which has another chest. However, it is looted sometimes. And then I can even go up to this other little tent spot where I can grab 3 more chests. So usually these spots will be uncontested. However, it's not impossible for them to be uncontested. So you can get yourself up to 15 chests if you loot this whole area effectively. Now, if zone pool's more south, I like to take the whirlpool and go towards where Cape Cod used to be. So I grab this chest, there's a fishing spot there. I take the whirlpool, there's more fishing spots, more chests, and I go to this little cabin. I believe it is Emad GG's solo drop spot, but it's actually insane. This little cabin, dude, I may have to make it my drop spot. So there's this 1 chest on the hill, and then the house itself has 4 more chests. That's right, you get 1 in the roof, 1 in this little room, one on the balcony, and another one on the bookcase. So, if you decide to go on this loop path, you can still pick up like 15 chests at least. And this spot is really good for rotating because, a lot of times the first zone can like pull and there's like water, or I don't know what I'm saying. A lot of times I can use like the water or just go around the outside of the map to rotate. So I usually hardly run into anyone mid-game when I drop at this location. So if you're good at fighting like, late game and when there's like stacked end games, I think this is going to be a great spot for you. However, be careful because, if you land here, I'm going to kill you. I will not show any mercy to my subscribers. So, yeah. Alright guys, that is the 5 most underrated drop spots for high-level arena and solo FNCS this season. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I would go try out, all 5 of these spots, just see which ones you do the best with. And so yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, please drop a like, and thank you so much for making it to the end. I really appreciate everyone that watches my full videos. Feel free to share this video to your friends, if they're struggling to get arena points. And so yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.